What's going on, guys? Super excited for my guest today. We have Xavier Miller on today, the host of the Millionaire Mindsets Podcast, over 600,000 downloads. You know what? I'm not even going to say much about this episode. You guys are going to have to tune in because this is a great one. What's going on, my brother? Welcome back. It felt like we were just here yesterday, bro.
Straight up, man. We was just kicking it, man, having a good time, man. Like you said, you already got some feedback on it, which is crazy.
That's what's up, bro. I appreciate you having me on your show yesterday, bro. So you already know we got to show love to the culture, bro. I had to have you on today, bro. I know a lot of people was excited to hear about this episode today, man.
I'm excited to be on, bro, for real, man. I love coming to other people. Like I told you before, I love like talking to other veterans that then branched off and did their own thing. I love that shit, bro.
Where you from, bro?
I'm from Chicago.
From Chicago?
Born and raised.
I think it's really interesting what me and you do because we have a lot of similarities, bro. And
yeah.
I think it's really interesting because like what we do, we can hit a certain demographic because you're a veteran and you're from Chicago, bro. You're from the hood. I'm a veteran. I'm from New York, right? Most people who are veteran specific, they're kind of like, they're not like us. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. And I understood that when I got into doing what I'm doing, I'm like, it's so many people that I can reach this message to because I'm relatable to so many people. You got so many people that's veterans. You got so many people that come from urban environments, come from Chicago, in real estate, you know what I'm saying, young. So it's like, I know I'll be able to touch a lot of people.
That's a fact, bro. So tell us a little bit more about that, bro. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, bro. Tell us how you started your journey, bro, to where you are right now. A little story time real quick, man.
Cool, I love that. So like I said, I grew up born and raised in Chicago, man, my first 18 years. So my senior year of high school, my brother, he was in the Navy. My brother was in the service too. So he was in the Navy and he was stationed in Florida. He was in Jacksonville. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Like after high school, like my grades was terrible, bro. I was a terrible student. I'm like, I barely showed up to school, honestly, bro. So my senior year, my brother, he was just like, man, if you want to come out here, you're going to get your mind right, you know what I'm saying, figure out what you want to do, that's cool. So I'm like, all right, I took the opportunity after high school. I went to Florida for like close to a year pretty much. When I was out there, he just kept putting a bug in my ear like, hey, if you're going to join the service, don't join the Marines, don't join the Navy, don't join. He's like, don't join. He's like, bro, don't join none of that shit. He's like, join the Air Force. So I'm like, wow,
right.
I ain't know shit about the Air Force, bro. But he like, join. He like, it's sweet. It's cake. You going to be able to do your thing. I'm like, all right. So I went back home. And when I went back home, I joined the service. So, all right. So like my first, I got in the service in 2013, the end of 2013. So like my first 3 years in the service, I was honestly like BSing for real, right? So until I went on deployment, like how we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
I went on deployment. And before I went on deployment, I'm pretty sure it was the same way for you. Like they advised y'all to make wills. Did they do that with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they advised us to make wills and shit. So I'm making my will, bro. Like I always tell people this story. I'm like, I'll never forget. Cause this was the life-changing moment for me, bro. I was making my will and I remember like writing stuff down. I'm looking around in the class. I'm just looking around like, damn, is it just me? Because I don't got shit, bro. Like I had like 10 pair of J's. I had like a watch. I had an Xbox. I had a little money in my savings, but that was it. And I'm like, damn. So I'm like, if I died right now, like if I died today, it's like I was living for nothing. I was living for no reason. I was just here. So I'm like, all right, I need to stop playing. So I went on my deployment. I was there for 7 months. I was in Qatar. And every day, all I did was work out, and just studies, like learn about investing, real estate, stocks, crypto. That's all I did, 7 months. So when I came home, I saved all my money while I was there, like all of it. I came back home, I had about like 25 grand. And that was enough for me to like make some moves. That was the start.
That's what's up, bro. I think it's so dope, bro, because the people who know my story are probably listening to this like, damn, that's crazy. I've told my story so many times. The parallels is ridiculous, bro. I love it.
That's real, bro. Because you in the military, especially like if you already had like, because I've always had like an entrepreneur like mentality with things. I knew I wanted to make a lot of money. So when I had that time to myself, 7 months, and then when you in the military all day, it's just you being told what to do, when you could go eat, blah, 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 this and that. So he's always like, man, I ain't doing this shit for 20 years. Like, I ain't doing it. So it's like, I had to boss up. I ain't had no choice. And then I had the resources to do it. That's all I needed, bro. And then as soon as I came back, the first thing I got into, I started investing into the stock market.
That was going to be my next question. That was your first move?
Yep, that was my first move. I started investing into the stock market. And my first time, it was like still kind of nervous because I wasn't sure. Like I know a lot of people when they invest into the stock market, they have this same like sensation where it's like, oh, it's like nervousness, like, oh, I don't want to spend no money. But that's because they look at investing the same way as spending. I always tell people, like, it's two different things. Once you spend money, like you go to a grocery store on any liability, it's a 99% chance that money is gone. It's never coming back. But when you invest it, it's just a transfer of money. The money is still there. So I had to fix my mentality on that part to tell myself, like, wait, that money's still there. You know what I'm saying? I still got that bread. So it made me like invest more comfortably. So I started investing. Then after I started investing in the stock market, I got into crypto. And right before the crypto like took off crazy.
2017, that's great. I know exactly.
2017, bro. 2017, I got into crypto, then made some money in crypto. And then when I got that, I just ventured into real estate. So it was like a trickle effect for real.
That's funny, bro, because I know exactly the time period to talk about. 2017, crypto was like, Bitcoin was like $3K a pop. And then that same
that's
year,
when I got in.
It went up to 20.
Yep, that's when I got in.
Yeah, I bought some. I was in Japan at the time, and they had I kept on getting I had been doing a lot of research. When I heard about Bitcoin, I was like, oh, like I keep hearing about it. And then I was in Japan, and they had Bitcoin ATMs.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, nah, this got to be real. And I had bought some crypto, and that shit took off. Yep. That's what's up. What'd you start off with, bro? Like with the stocks? Like, how'd you know what stocks to invest in? What'd you put your money into? Like, what was your first, like, oh shit, nah, this is real. I could do this.
So what I started doing, like I said, I was doing the research already. So I was doing the research, but it's still like one of those things where, you know, you fully don't understand it until you do it. Like you could do all the research in the world, but until you actually do it, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, make your investment, buy a property, until you do it, then it's like, oh, okay. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it now. So like my first investment was Starbucks, bro. And to be honest, I didn't even really know what I was doing. It just was like I was looking at companies, looking at the charts, seeing like their price points for the last 6 months, the last year, the last 3 years. And then it was like, it wasn't that $30. I can't even remember. It was like $30-something at the time. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? My first investment. So I'm going to see what it do. So that was my first investment. So then when I started making like a little money on it, then I was like losing money. I'm like, let me try some other stuff. So then I got into Apple, I got into Facebook, and I got into Amazon. And Amazon is what made me like a good piece of money for real. So I'm like, oh, damn, okay. So that put me onto the game, like passive income. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I got into Amazon when it was like $900 a share. So I was lit. For those who don't know right now, when I sold it though. I sold it when it was $1,800 a share.
Yeah, nah, that shit went up crazy, bro.
Yeah, it did. It went up crazy, bro. And that told me like, okay, I need to take this more seriously.
Nah, that's what's up, bro. I don't have any money in stocks right now, but I had Tesla in 2015 when it was $147 a pop, bro. I had 10 shares and I cashed out. It was right before the Model S dropped. I sold it when it hit 350 because I said, oh, ain't no way it's going to go higher than that. And now look, where it's at, bro.
At 2,200 right now. They doing the split right now, so it's going down back to like 450. But the same thing happened to me. I didn't invest in Tesla early on because people, when it was like 300, I was thinking about doing it. And then people was like, nah, that's overpriced. It's too high. I'm like, really? So I never did it. Next thing you know, boom, the shit took off. I'm like, man, but I got a lot of money in Tesla right now, though. Like, I'm actually going to put another $20,000 into it tomorrow morning.
Nice. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
What are you working on now, bro? Because I know you do a little bit of everything, bro. Anything that makes sense. What's one of the things you're really working on right now? Like, what's the next thing you're looking at?
So the main thing right now, really, because like the stock investing thing, that's really just like, you know, passive money. They don't really take no working time out of me, honestly. But right now I have my real estate company, Park Hill Capital Ventures. This is where we teach people how to get involved in real estate, just like how I started. Like another thing that we have in common that I forgot to mention is how you talked about how you started flipping in Detroit. And that's where I didn't flip, but that's where I started buying properties when I first got into real estate was Detroit because the low entry cost. Yeah, so that was another thing. I was like, damn, bro, we got a lot of shit in common. Like that was the first city I went to, Detroit. So I teach people like not only how to invest in markets like Detroit, but like Cleveland, Memphis at a low cost if they want to invest out of the state they're in. For people that might be in California, Florida, New York, where they like it's too expensive to get in here, I show people how to invest in other states.
Yeah, nah, it was funny because when I was mentioning my house in Boston Edison yesterday, you were like, oh yeah, I know where that is. And I noticed it. I didn't say nothing though, but I was like, I peeped it. I'm like, you got to have been there or like been in the city to know where Boston Edison is at. Because that's not just a place everybody knows.
It's not. I've been to Detroit a nice amount of times. Like I said, I invest in Detroit. So I know the city on a decent level being an outsider.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I've been there a few times as well.
Yeah, Detroit. Detroit is like one of those cities, like you said, if you got a strategy, you play it right. Because it's some bad deals. It's a lot of bad deals there too, but it's a lot of good deals there as well that you can find. You can make money. Like my first property I ever bought in Detroit, I paid $16,900 for it, right? And I had the money to pay for it in whole, but I'm like, instead of using my money, I'm gonna use the bank money. So I took out like a $13,000 loan. It wasn't a mortgage loan; it was a personal loan. Because for properties that cheap, they don't do mortgage loans. So I took out a personal loan for 13 bands, right? So I put 3.9 out of my pocket, paid for it. A tenant was already in there. The tenant she was paying like $650 at the time. And the mortgage or the personal loan payment was only like $300. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm only making $350 net, but only put $3,000 up. And the tenant, she paid off the property quick, you know what I'm saying? Because it was only $13,000 loan.
Bro, that's funny, bro. I did something really similar. Yo, this is hilarious, bro. Now, so what I did, one of my first cribs over there, bro, I have Navy Federal. I'm sure you got Navy Federal too.
Yeah, I used to have. I don't got them no more, but I used to.
Yeah, Navy Federal love giving people money, bro. So yeah, I applied for a lot of 0% interest credit, bro. I had a card with 50 grand on it, bro, 0% interest. And I paid PayPal myself to the business account. So I turned from the personal credit to the business account, and I just went and bought cribs cash in Detroit, bro. So I think I couldn't get a mortgage loan for cribs that low.
Yep, you couldn't. They're not gonna give it to you for that low. I think I could be wrong. It's either 20 or 25,000. I always forget. Like if it's beneath that, they're not gonna give you no mortgage loan. But bro, that's crazy because I know the time period you're talking about. I remember Navy Fed was like giving out money, bro.
Like nothing, bro. Just like nothing. I remember he was gonna get it.
I remember because I remember my brother, he hit me up. He like, bro, you need to get your Navy Fed credit card back. He was like, I just got I think he was like, I got $50,000, no interest. I'm like, what?
Yeah, bro. They used to wild. I was 21 at the time when I got approved for that too, bro. Imagine. I was like, oh, nah, this is going into the business.
You bought some houses though, instead of doing some, you know what I'm saying? What a lot of 21-year-olds would have done.
Nah, fast. So that's what's up though, bro. I think that's mad funny, man. Detroit is definitely. Do you invest in Chicago as well?
No, I don't invest in Chicago. I got a couple deals on the line for like wholesale deals down my pipeline right now, but I don't invest in Chicago. I think Chicago, this is just my opinion, I think it's kind of like overpriced right now.
That's interesting, bro.
Yeah.
I figured everything is cheap over there.
No, bro. Chicago ain't cheap, bro. Like, but maybe just because since I'm always in cities like a Cleveland, like Detroit and stuff like that, I look at everything from a different perspective. Because I'm like, if I spend 100 here and I'm gonna be making 1,000 a month, I could spend 100 in Cleveland, 100 in Memphis. 100 in Detroit. I could be making like 2,000-3,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I always look at stuff.
As a fact, bro. People be sleep on those up and coming cities. Nobody want to go to them cities, bro. Let's be honest. Nobody want to go to Ohio, bro. Nobody want to go to Detroit. But if you got to find it over there too. That's another thing. Like you got to be smart enough to know how to analyze that area.
That's a fact.
Because Detroit, I'm sure you've noticed, like the property values could fall off block by block. It's ridiculous. Like Boston Edison, for example, ARV is 300,000. You go 2 blocks down, ARV 150. But from the outside looking in, if you didn't do your research, you think if you got a house on another block, you're like, oh, I got a slam dunk deal. And you might not.
Hey, that's a fact, bro. Detroit is one of those cities where, like you just said, you could be on one block with a crazy ARV. Next block, you be like, what the heck? You think you coming up. But that's why it's so important to do your research, man. You got to do your research on these deals. Like the last property I bought, we paid, I think it was $18,000 for it. We put about 4 into it. We got to appraise. It's worth 40 now. But we mapped out the location where it's at. We knew like, oh, this is an undervalued property right here compared to what it could be worth.
Nah, that's what's up, bro. I know right now, bro, I've been seeing it a lot more lately. I guess because of the whole thing going on, the pandemic, all of that. I've been seeing a lot more people, and I'm sure you've seen it as well. I've seen a lot more people dabbling in the stock market right now.
Yeah.
I've seen everybody posting their Robinhood screenshot. It's almost like it happened all at once, bro.
It did. I think the reason for that is because when the pandemic happened, I think the pandemic showed people how important it is to be liquid. Because there were so many people that had hard money situations, but they had their money tied up in real estate, maybe in their business, maybe if it was trucking. And you can't pull that money out immediately. It's going to take a while. It's going to be a process. But for the stock market, you could take the money out in 24 hours and have it in your account. So I think Also, it can have your money growing. So I think that was a big part for people. So they learn like, damn, I need to have a good amount liquid. So let me put it in the stock market instead of keeping it in my bank account. So I think that was a big reason for a lot of people going into that during this pandemic.
What do you think about that, though? What advice would you give those people who just kind of like, because, I feel like a lot of people, they see people posting it and they're like, all right, whatever, I'm going to do it too. And I feel like some people might be going into it without a full grasp of what they're doing and how important it is what they're doing. Do you have some advice for those people who might be listening to this right now?
Hey, that's a fact. But my advice would, bro, I always say this. I say, if you don't understand it, don't invest in it. It's as simple as that. Like, people, obviously, they have FOMO, fear of missing out all the time. You can see people posting all their stuff on the gram, on all their Robinhood account, TD account, looking lit. So you're like, I'm about to do the same thing. But that's a quick way to lose money, almost a for sure way to lose money, because you probably don't know what you're getting into. You might be getting into it at a high price point, at an overvalued price point, but you wouldn't know that if you're not doing your research and just throwing a bunch of money.
That's a fact.
In there. And you always got to be, whatever amount you invest, you got to be willing to lose that amount as well. So don't put anything into the market that you're not willing to lose. So like, that's how I look at it. Like, if I invest something, I'm damn near willing to lose it, especially if it's like with crypto or something. For whatever I got in crypto, I'm ready to chalk that L up at any time because I know how volatile it is. Like, just being real. Like, I'm not going to be fake with myself saying, no, this going to go. I know, like, at any moment, that shit could go south. But that's the risk you got to be willing to take with your money. Like, if you're not willing to lose it, you probably should keep it in your bank account. That's like the smartest way to invest, really.
Well, that's what's up. Yeah, I 100% agree, especially with the whole crypto. Crypto's crazy, bro. I think crypto's the future, in my opinion. But I think it's gonna take a while to get there.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. It's going to take, like, people had that 2017 experience and they think that was going to happen again overnight, but that was already like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So there's no way that people should have, like, thought reasonably like that would have happened again a year, 2 years from now. I believe the same thing you said, though. I think within, like, the next 10 years, it would be one of the most, like, important assets that anybody could have. It's a scarce commodity. Like, it's only 21 million Bitcoin. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Anything that's scarce, people when it's gone, it's gone. There's nothing you can do. So people is going to pay for the people that do got Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies.
That's a fact, bro. I think it's funny something you just said right now, bro, that people are expecting something like that to happen again. And it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. A lot of people don't realize that what we're going through right now, like right now while we're speaking, this is also a once-in-a-lifetime wealth transfer experience as well, bro.
It is, bro. Like, I know so many people that's becoming first-time millionaires during the pandemic, bro, during the global pandemic. So that shows you, like, what's going on in these markets, especially, like, with the stock market. The stock market has went fucking crazy this year, especially if you invest in stuff like Tesla, Apple, and stuff like that. The stock market been going ham, bro. So you can't expect this to keep happening year after year after year, just being realistic. So, like you said, this wealth transfer, it's like I tell people all the time, I think like 20, 25 years from now, they're going to be making a movie out of this shit, bro. Like,
1,000%, bro. 1,000%.
Like, it's a bunch of these young 20-something, 30-something year old people on social media, networking, politicking, literally becoming millionaires just from doing different business stuff.
Yeah, bro. I love it, bro. I love it. I feel like everything on my social media right now is just positivity. People out here really trying to get to this bag. I love it. I love seeing it, bro.
Facts. That's a fact, bro. Everybody, it's like if you're not getting to it right now, it's like you missing out on the opportunity. Like, this is what I always say. I'd be like, by the time we 60 years old, like our grandkids is going to be reading and hearing about this time, like this 2020, this era right here. And they're going to be asking their grandparents, like, so what was you doing? You were a part of that? And the people that ain't involved, like, what you going to say? Because there's so much money out here right now.
There's a quote that Patrick Bet David posted, and he was like, right now, during these times, there's giants being born. You don't know their names right now, but 5 to 10 years from now, you're going to know their names.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's a bar right there, bro. That's a fact, bro.
That's the perfect way to look at it, bro. It's a lot of them, too. It's going to be, I think, 10 years from now, it's going to be so many people. What the dope part about this is, like, in this community that we already built, and a lot of people talk shit about it. They call it, like, the wealth community, LLC community, especially on Twitter. That's what they'll say. But the dope part about it is a lot of us, we know each other. Like, we network, you know what I'm saying? We got relationships. Yeah. Like, so even when a lot of us become giants, that foundation was built 10 years ago. So whatever we doing 10 years from now, It's like, oh yeah, I know Jay. I know Jay from 10 years ago. He was on my podcast. I was on his podcast. And we doing crazy hundreds of $1 million things in business. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like, damn, it's crazy that they already know each other.
You know what's hilarious about that, bro? I was literally just a second ago, I was walking with my cinematographer over to the store, and I was telling him I like listening to those hip hop interviews where they're like, oh yeah, I went to Jay-Z's crib. And it's funny because you realize they all know each other.
They all know each other.
It's low-key the same within the community. Like, I've heard of you, even though we didn't speak till yesterday. Like, we all low-key know of each other, bro. Yep. Or at least we're like one person, two people away from knowing
one person away. Like they say, social media is the great equalizer. Like, you know, they always say the 6 degrees of separation. Social media broke that down to, you know what I'm saying, probably 1 degree. You know what I'm saying? You know somebody, if you don't know them, you know somebody that know them. It's easy to get in touch with somebody.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. I was literally just talking about that. It's going to be dope, bro. It's years from now when we be like, oh, yeah, I know that person.
Yeah, bro. It's only a matter of time. Like, as long as we keep doing what we're doing, just like in the stock market, when you got money invested for a while, that compound interest kick in. Like, just like that in real life. If you keep putting in work, that compound interest is going to kick in. And you're going to be at a level where from, like, think about it like this. 10 years from now, it'll be people that's just getting started on this journey that we on. And we'll be 10 plus years in the game. So you just imagine that all that compound interest that's kicked in on it, where we'll be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell people, especially younger people, like that's like 17, 18, when you that young, you think you got your whole life to get together. You like, you know what I'm saying? I could bullshit right now because that's how I thought. I'm like, I'm 19, 20. I could bullshit right now. You know what I'm saying? By the time I'm late 20s, I could get it together. I'll be on my shit. I get it together. But the earlier you start, the better off you be. The earlier you start, the quicker you'll become a millionaire and all that. So it's best to take your money and your finances seriously as early as possible. Because I know if I was on my shit at 16 years old, I would have been a millionaire a long fucking time ago.
Oh, it without a doubt, bro. I wish I had this mindset sooner. I think about that all the time, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's just, think about it. If I had this real estate information, stock information, business information at 16 years old, and it's not like I couldn't have got it. The access was there. I couldn't have got the info. It's just that it wasn't on my mind to get it. Like, it wasn't like nothing I was thinking about like that at 16. But for now, with all this game and podcasts and all this stuff that's out here, any 16-year-old, it's way more easier to get it now. Like, I be having 16-year-olds DM me with their business, like, what should I do? What's these next steps? And I'm like, God damn, bro. I'm like, if you do the stuff that we talking about, by the time you could be a millionaire by the time you're 22.
That's a fact. I've been trying to put my like nieces and nephews on to entrepreneurship. But what I want to do, I want to buy them all like a vending machine or something. You know, even though it's small, like a $1,500 investment. I'm like, yo, this is your business. You get to pull out the bread when you want. You pick the products you're gonna put in it. But at least, whether they like it or not, they understand that they can make money with their mind and not their time. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's so deep. And then on another side of that is I think the candy business is probably the best business for a kid to learn entrepreneurship. Because obviously, it's candy, it's chips, it's something that all kids really enjoy. And then when you put money involved into it, it's like, oh, damn. Because I know that was my first business. When I was 6 years old, I used to sell, like the little Kool-Aid packs.
Yeah.
I used to take them out and put them into like little Ziploc bags. And I used to sell them for $1. You know what I'm saying? That was like, and that taught me, like, subconsciously, without me even knowing it, that taught me the value of business, the value of demand and stuff like that. So that it's important for kids to do that. They're going to learn so much, even if they don't realize it. Later on down the line, they're gonna learn so much business. Because this is another topic that we get on. I ain't even tend to get on this. But if you live in America, it makes sense for you to understand business because this country is a corporation. So, and America favors other corporations. So it makes sense. If you understand business, you understand America. Like, it's as simple as that.
That's a fact. I would say that. I think everything comes back, in this country at least, it all comes back to money. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to tell yourself it's not, that's the case. Like, I'm like, oh, you want to be an activist? The biggest form of activism is to get rich. Because now you could donate to whatever cause you want. You could put on for whatever cause you want. That's the biggest form of activism.
You talking some shit now. That's a fact. The biggest cause, I tell people that all the time, like, no matter what you believe in, no matter what your political view is, the best way to really support and show the value in that is to get you a bunch of money and put it to that cause. Because without no money, it ain't nothing. You just another person that's out here talking about something.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You just out here, you over here trying to raise money for it. You could be the person putting it on.
Be the person putting up, man. But I think right now, a lot of people are starting to understand it. There's a lot of people that still don't, but I'm seeing the difference. Some people I'm talking to, they're starting to understand that, like, okay, I need to give me some money if I really want to change things. You can't change things from a broke standpoint. Like in a country that's ran by money. How the hell that work? That don't even make any sense.
That don't even make sense. That don't even make sense.
It don't make no sense at all, bro.
Nah, facts. Tell me a little bit more about, because it's funny that you say that. You say you've seen a lot of people's mindset change. And sometimes I think that too. Sometimes I feel like we're going through a real entrepreneur awakening period. But then sometimes I'm like, is it just because I'm really involved in this industry, or is it because it's really happening?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey, I question that too. I'll be like, maybe I'm feeling like that just because I'm in this industry. I'm in this, like all the people I talk to and network with, they all in the industry too. So maybe I am overestimating it. But then a lot of times it's everyday people that have nothing to do with it that'll hit me up and be like, yo, this will change for me. So I know even if it's on a small level, that's how anything starts. It got to start somewhere. It got to start somewhere, bro. On that small level for it to like snowball into a much bigger level. But I could be wrong on this, but that's what it feels like to me.
Nah, I feel you. I be the same way. I be thinking about it though, man.
Yeah, like, damn, there's a lot of people. Bro, I'm telling you, man, this is how I know how strong, like, this community and what we doing is. I be out in random places, bro, and people that I don't even be knowing be walking up on me like, yeah, I know you for so-and-so, this and that. Like, knowing people within the community asking me, do I know other people? I be like, damn, so this shit really, like, it's affecting a lot of people's lives, bro.
Nah, that's what's up. And I really, I will show love to your movement, Mm-hmm. I think the podcast is really dope. And you got a lot of viewers on that, bro. And I think that's really dope because I think a lot of people, at least back in the day, right, is more now within the age group we're in, the way we're putting on for the culture is different from before, bro. Before it was somebody got money and they stayed out the way. They didn't want to know nothing about nobody. And then for you, for what we do, we actually giving back free game. So like, what made you want to start the podcast, bro? Tell us a little bit more about that.
The podcast was something, like I said, it was something I started the podcast at the end of 2018. So I came back from my deployment in August of 2017. So it was already almost a year and a half that I've been investing and doing business stuff. So you got to think like, when you in this lifestyle, you live and breathe this shit. This is all you talk about for the most part and stuff like that is getting money, handling business, getting your stuff to the next level. So every day it's me and my co-host D, my girlfriend. Every day we talking about down there the same shit, like what business, games, stuff like that. Yeah, after a while, it came to a point where we was like, damn, like it would benefit so many other people that like came up how we came up with similar situations, similar background, if they heard these conversations. Like I know how many people would benefit if they heard these conversations. So at the end of 2018, this was like Christmas Eve, I think. I could be wrong, Christmas Eve, 2018. We was like, all right, let's create the podcast. And the podcast just started from our living room. It was like, I was in a position where it wasn't me just talking it. It was me actually like living in it at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wasn't one of those people that never got into real estate, that never bought stocks, that didn't have any money. Because you got people like that out here that be trying to tell people what to do, but they ain't never did shit. I was coming from a position that, man, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm getting some money now. So it was like, I had the information to give, and we started at that. Because at the time we started our podcast, bro, I'm trying to think. This was 2018. So by that time, I think I probably had like 100,000 at that time. So I'm saying I'm 27 now. So then I was like 25. So, you know what I'm saying? I was coming from a standpoint of I'm doing this shit. I know what I'm talking about. So I can get the game back. So that's what it was. As simple as that.
Nah, that's a fact. That's dope, bro. Because I basically had like the same thought, bro. And I think that's really dope. I think that speaks a lot to your character, bro. That you were like, yo, we getting value from these conversations. Other people are going to get value from this as well. I think that speaks volumes of your character, bro.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, bro. And it's like, man, the reward, I don't even think we really reap the rewards. Like, I'm not even talking about monetary. I just mean the value of like helping people where we can go. And obviously me networking and meeting so many people through this, you know what I'm saying? I met all kinds of people that's on crazy levels of business where people could hear their stories live in person to know like, damn, this is possible. Because if you ain't ever seen nobody make $1 million or you don't know nobody that got $1 million, you probably don't really believe it's possible deep down for real.
That's a fact.
You probably hear people, you might hear like movie people, rappers, but you yourself.
It feel fake because they don't look like you, they don't talk like you, they don't walk like you.
You be like, man, what? because I know, man, people be reaching out to me. They be hearing my shit talking about how people might have made millions of dollars, tens of millions. They not a rapper. They not an entertainer. People be like, it open their eyes. They like, whoa, shit. I can get money just through my intelligence, using my brain. What? Go for me, bro.
That's a fact. That's one of my dopest. I love seeing that. Like, I love when you could tell somebody had that aha moment in their head. Like, that's a
bro. And it's one of those things, like, bro, I just said, it's one of those things where you can't force it. Like, you can't force financial literacy on anybody. Like, it's one of those things where they gonna get it. Some people get it immediately, and some people get it over time, and some people never get it. But it's like, you can't force it on people. You gotta let people have that aha moment. Like, mine for me was doing my will. And it was like, oh, I had that moment. So other people, it's going to be different moments for them.
Nah, that's a fact. When did you start realizing, like, when did the podcast really start, like, catching fire? When did it start really taking off? Was it, like, one specific episode, or was it just, like, was it over time?
It wasn't a specific episode. It was just gradually being consistent. I would say, like, probably, like, mid-2019, probably, like, second quarter of 2019 is when it started, like, catching on and got a boost. And then as long as I kept going, I just kept getting like more boosts and shit like that. So that's what and it's not even like, to be honest, it's not nowhere near the point I want it to be. So as long as I keep that mentality, I know it'll keep growing into what I truly want it to be.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. That's what's up, bro.
It's consistency though. Consistency. That's what I tell all people that got podcasts. Consistency is that key for real.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. It's funny, bro. Sometimes we think about tasks as if they're hard. Like, damn, I got to hop on this. But it's really not, bro. It's really not. Like, some people just be lazy, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, I be catching myself sometimes, too. Because sometimes, like, just being honest, as much as I record, I almost got over 100 episodes. There's sometimes I don't feel like doing this shit. But I know I have to do it. But it's like, man, I'm tripping. Like, well, man, this ain't nothing but recording, having a conversation. Obviously, it's stuff that come in beforehand when you want to get stuff together, make sure it's going to be a high quality episode. But another thing, though, is not as easy as some people may think it is. You know, you in a podcast, you doing a podcast now. You know, I'm not saying it's hard, but to have a quality show is not that easy either.
Yeah, I mean, there's logistical things behind it as well that people don't see.
Right, and that's something that, because, you know, everybody, it's like making music. You know what I'm saying? Like, a person hear a rapper make a song, they might hear Drake, Hov, somebody make a song, and they be like, man, I could do that. Until they get in the studio, and they like, damn, they don't even know how to catch a beat. They don't know how to write, how to break down the verse into 8 bars. They don't know how to do none of that shit. So it's like, oh, I thought and podcast is really similar.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. I 100% agree, bro. It was a learning experience for me. I started mine not even 8 weeks ago, is that?
See? So
less than 8 weeks ago, bro. And it caught on really quick, though. I'm not going to lie. I had a few episodes where I had some good guests, bro. And we was ranking in the U.S. Like, at one point, we were like top 10 business podcasts for like 3 weeks, bro, on the 3rd week out. And
that's cold.
Yeah, I was but it was fun. And I started realizing, like, oh, wait, but I got to do this, too, in order for it to really hit. You know what I'm saying? That's when you start realizing, oh, there's other things in the back. It's not just getting on and talking.
Yeah, you're exactly. And what's so dope about you is, you already had a brand before you made your podcast. So that made it, you know what I'm saying? That made it so much easier for you. A lot of times people, they don't have a brand at all. And you try to start a podcast. And it's like, not saying nobody's going to listen to it, but nobody knows you already. So if you put out a podcast, it's going to make it hard. Like, I always tell people, your podcast or whatever it is only going to grow as much as your brand grows. So you got to prioritize growing your brand as well. Because that's what's going to get you more listeners and all that kind of shit.
That's a fact. Tell me something, bro. I know you got a lot going on right now, putting a lot of people on, bro. What's one of the biggest things right now that you're looking to accomplish? That, like, one of those accomplishments, like, the money accomplishments is cool. And if that's one of them, that's cool. But I'm talking about that accomplishment where you're going to be like, damn, I really did that. What's that accomplishment for you?
Man, and this might sound crazy to some people. Like, when I look at an accomplishment like that, obviously you have monetary accomplishments that you want to do. But my top accomplishments is not money driven for me. Like, obviously, I'm an extremely competitive person. So when I do anything, I'm going to do it at the biggest levels. So it's like, me for my business for Park Hill Capital, and I also have a foundation. I got the Park Hill Capital Foundation as well. We about to do some super crazy things. So me, my business, growing my business, I want to help like 10,000 people purchase their first real estate property. So that's like my main goal right there. Like that's what, like, if I do that, I'll be like, oh, that number's always been in my head. Like if I help 10,000 people help get their first investment property, that's like major to me. And then like I got goals for the podcast where it's like I want to get to like 1 million downloads per month. Like that's another goal I have. Yeah, that's another goal I have. And those are, and besides like my own like personal goals with like fitness and stuff like that, and obviously financial goals and stuff. But my business goal right now, I'm focusing on helping 10,000 people get their first investment property. And with the podcast, those are like my two main things and my foundation. Like right now, we helping families out here with the California fires that lost everything. We giving them like money and all kinds of stuff like that. And then we about to do some stuff in Louisiana for the people that went through the hurricane. And we about to like go crazy. Like about it. Like last year, we funded a whole school with school supplies for the entire school year, like from K through 8th grade. Like the whole.
I saw that.
It was like $9,000 in $8,000 in like supplies. So that was crazy. A big deal for me. But now we doing stuff. We about to do stuff even on a way bigger scale than that. And that's the kind of stuff I'll be most proud of.
That's what's up, bro. I actually just started a foundation. Well, I partnered with somebody on a foundation recently out in D.C. Financial literacy for people of color. We're trying to give back to the community.
I love it.
Trying to give back knowledge to the community.
Bro,
you know?
I love it, bro, because it's like, especially for people like us that are at a point where we got the knowledge and we might have some money, it just makes the most sense. Instead of waiting, like how I look at it, instead of waiting on like these big corporations and shit like that to give back, it's like we could, in a lot of situations, we could take care of this ourselves. We don't need to wait on the biggest people with the biggest corporations. We don't need to wait on Walmart to do this for people that come from where we come from. We can do this shit ourselves at this point.
That's a fact. And the more we do it, the more we inspire other people to do it.
Bro.
That's the part people don't realize, bro, because I feel like greatness inspires greatness. You see somebody doing some dope shit, it make you want to do some dope shit too.
Bro, last year when we did the school supplies thing, I couldn't tell you how many people hit me up. They're like, damn, I'm inspired. I'm about to do the same thing in my hood. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's not on that same level, it's still something, bro.
They still did something. They still did more than people that didn't do anything.
Yep.
That's a fact, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I think that's really dope, bro. I'm in the similar shoes as you right now where I'm trying to figure out some goals like that as well. Mm-hmm. I know I bought a couple of rental properties myself, right? But I'm the kind of person that I don't feel like I could teach it if I don't do it. I'm not an expert at getting rental properties, so I don't teach it. And I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will, but not me.
That shows you your morals and integrity because there's so many. Like, look, bro, like sometimes I'll post like my stock market day gains in a day or whatever. And I can't tell you how many people will hit me up and be like, hey, how much do you charge to teach me about the stock market? I want to pay you X amount of dollars to teach me. And I always tell them, can't nobody tell you I ever took money from another teacher in the stock market because I don't. Like, I always tell them, like, hey, I make money in it, but I'm not no expert. I really do it from a simplistic, like, damn, they invested for dummies level. I got the money. I just know where to put it. I can't tell you what to do. But so many other people, like, you know, people will be like, yeah, I'm going to start teaching the course now, knowing that they not super informed on that anyway.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. And don't get me wrong, I done had people hit me up and they paid me for education, but I taught them something that I knew.
And you was an expert in it.
Not that I lukewarm do this. I'm half in, half out with this. I'm like, nah, like I know how to do this for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, bro.
That's one of the things a lot of people don't even know this yet. I ain't never even said this before. But back in 2017, I was messing with my mans. I put him onto what Forex was. And I'm not a Forex trader though. You know, I got my money in the hedge fund and stuff.
Right.
Man, I know it's powerful. I see the returns, but I'm not an expert in it. But my mans, I put him on back in 2016, 2017. I put him on to what it was. He was way smarter than me. He took it and ran with it, and he does that for a living. That's something I really want to learn and plug into more because I see it as an opportunity for the average person to make some bread.
It is. Like, I'm the same way, bro. I don't really know much about Forex. People hit me up about it all the time, and I'm like, bro, I honestly... Like, I'm one of those people that if I don't know something, I'm not going to try to fake it and act like I know some shit I don't know. I'm just going to tell you that's not my lane right now. At least right now it's not.
I'm trying to get more into that industry, bro, because it's like if somebody hits me up and they're like, yo, I really want to get started wholesaling. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It does, to do it effectively, I think it takes money. I know there's a lot of ads out there saying, yo, you don't need money, you don't need this, you don't need that. Yeah, you don't need running shoes to run either, but it make it a lot easier. You know?
So you don't need running shoes to run either. Hey, that's interesting because I do oftentimes you hear people say you really don't need a lot of money in the wholesale. So that's interesting that you said that.
I feel like there's two ways with any business. I think you either going to do it with money or you're going to do it with time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it comes to a point where you're like, damn, there's a lot of time I'm putting into this. You know, so I feel like money makes it a lot easier. Money makes everything a lot easier. Let's be honest.
Money make everything a lot easier. That's what money is, the ultimate time hack. It gives you your time back. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you actually going out here and doing it, you could pay somebody else to do it, or you could just, pay somebody else to do it, pay to get it done.
That's a fact. So I believe that with wholesaling, with fixing and flipping, I believe if you intend to do it at a full-time thing, like this is going to be your baby, your bread and butter, I think it takes capital, you know? So I don't think that might be necessarily my vehicle to be able to put the most people on. You know what I'm saying? Because it does take capital. So I'm trying to figure out what the vehicle for me is going to be to really, like, yo, you're an average person. You're not the smartest person in the world. You don't got bread. Hey, do this, you'll make some chicken. So I'm still trying to figure that out for me. That's what's important for me.
Let me ask you this. So how much capital do you think it takes for someone to get in there and start making some real money? It probably depends on the market, huh? For wholesaling.
I think, honestly, at a minimum, I say like 5 bands.
5 bands? Okay.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Most people start off with full-time jobs, bro. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I feel like you need some money to free up a little bit of your time.
Yeah. I agree. You definitely will, because, and then you can pay to get those systems set up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Those systems set up, everything. You could be damn near a well-oiled machine. It might take a minute, though. So, yeah, I see what you're saying about that.
Yeah. I started when I was active duty, bro, and it was hard. I had a lot of late nights, early mornings. And I know, unfortunately, but as a fact, majority of the population isn't willing to go through something like that.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro. You got to think. I'm prior military, so I know, and you was the Marines. The Marines work much more harder than the Air Force. So I know after all those hours of you working, you could have easily came home as soon as you sat on your couch and said, fuck, man, I'm tired. I'll do that shit another day. And then you got the people that are, your 1st and the 15th, you guaranteed to get paid. So it's like, do I really, if you ain't got that shows you how much ambition you got. Because if you don't got that ambition, there's no way you're going to do that. There's no way you're going to stay up late at night because you know you're getting paid. And another dope thing that I think your story is you use your job, the military, as your investor to do other things instead of using that to blow it on bullshit.
Right. So, yo, my brother, before I let you go, I know you're a busy man, bro. I don't want to hold you up too long, bro. You got a piece of advice for anybody listening to this that wants to be an entrepreneur? What would you be your one piece of advice that you could give yourself? If you was 18 years old again and you could come meet your 18-year-old self, what would you tell yourself, bro?
That's a great question. It's simple, bro. I would tell myself, and this might sound cliche-ish, but I would say all you got to do is lock in. First you got to believe that you can actually do it. So you got to fix your mind to think like, I can actually do this shit. So after that, now you have to lock in and put your time into it. It's as simple as that. If you don't put the time into it, you're not going to get the results that you want. So you got to put your time into it, and you got to put the time on getting the information first.
Right.
And then you get the information, you put your time into implementing it and doing the action. So whatever that is, whether it's real estate, whether it's stock investing, whether it's Forex, crypto, no matter what industry, even if it's industries outside of that, you got to put the time to get the information. And then you get the information, you got to put the time to implement it. Like one without the other, it ain't going to work. Like if you just take action with no info, it ain't going to work. And if you just get the info and don't take no action, it's fucking pointless. So you got to do both. And both of them take time. Hand in hand. And they both take time. And it's as simple as long as you do that, I promise you, it ain't no to win it, it ain't no secret recipe. That's the recipe. It takes consistency and time to do it. That's all it takes. If you do those things, I promise you're going to be good.
And the belief system is huge, bro, because if you're not doing it with actual belief, you're just going through the motions.
You're just going through the motions, bro. That's why I tell people all the time, you got to reprogram your mind first, bro. Like you have, right. That's a mandatory, unless you already came up in an environment where you don't have to do that. But most of us, just being real, we didn't come up in that kind of environment. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta fix our brain.
We gotta positively brainwash ourselves.
You gotta brainwash yourself, bro. You have to. So once you do that, you gotta do that, and then you do those other things I said. Put the time to get into the info, and then put the time into implementing that info. And I promise you, bro, you're gonna be good, especially if you do it over a long period of time. You're gonna be cool. Like,
that's a fact,
no other choice.
That's a fact, bro. So, if anybody out here, because there's gonna be a lot of people listening to this, like, damn, this motherfucker's spitting. Where can they find you, bro? Plug yourself in real quick. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcast. What's all of that, bro?
So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter at Xavier C. Miller. That's Xavier C. Miller. You can find my podcast available on all streaming platforms called the Millionaire Mindsets Podcast, available everywhere. And you can follow our podcast on Instagram and Twitter at MMindsetsPod. If you're interested in getting in real estate and getting involved in real estate, like I'm talking about, you need help buying an investment property, you go to parkhillcapitalventures.com.
Appreciate you hopping on, my brother. I know they're about to get some value from this episode.
Appreciate that, bro.